You guys saw the president's speech, okay? This is what I want you to, this is from military.com. This is a troop at Fort Bragg. What it says, Bragg soldiers who cheered Trump's political attacks while in uniform were checked for allegiance and appearance. Again, what did they do? They coordinated it as if it was a television show. And they picked the people who supported Donald Trump. And there were a few in there. Now, you know, our military is very diverse, right? Extremely. It's one of the most diverse institutions that we have in this country. And someone in the chat yesterday said, I see nary a black face in there. Now, you might see one or two, a couple. But they all look like young white men. Double Dutch 031. You saw that, right? Coordinated. Curated. Are you curating this? People asked me that when we went out on the campaign trail for the election. Are you curating? This is out of control. It is out of control. It's a sea of white faces. Now, again, you may see a couple, but remember how diverse our men and women in uniform are. And this is what they're reporting. Let's look at the reporting. Scroll down. I want to read some of it to you, and then I'm going to tell you about some other stuff that may outrage you. It was supposed to be a routine appearance, a visit for the commander-in-chief to rally the troops, boost morale, and celebrate the Army's 250th birthday week, which culminates with a Washington, D.C. parade slated for Saturday. Remember, this is the big buildup, right? For Saturday. Instead, what unfolded on Tuesday at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, bore little resemblance to the customary visit from a president and defense secretary. There, President Trump unleashed a speech laced with partisan invective, goading jeers, with a crowd of soldiers positioned behind his podium, blurring the long-standing and sacrosanct line between the military and partisan politics. Now, remember, this is military.com, which is usually the military very pro what? President, country, Republicans. Okay? Then it talks about how they roared in laughter as the president berated Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom. The soldiers roared with laughter and applauded Trump's diatribe in a shocking and rare public display of troops taking part in naked political partisanship. So for this story, military.com reached out to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's office, as well as the Army and the 82nd Airborne Division, directly with a series of questions that range from the optics of the event to social media posts showing the sale of Trump campaign merchandise on the base. Outrageous. If that does not tick you off, the sale of Trump merchandise on the base. Ghetto. To the apparent violation of Pentagon policies of political activity in uniform. Keep going. Remember that. You cannot have political activity while you are in uniform. Yes, you're right. This is deplorable. Here's the crux of it. Internal 82nd Airborne Division communications, reviewed by military.com, reveal a tightly orchestrated effort to curate the optics of Trump's recent visit, including hand-picking soldiers for the audience based on political leanings and physical appearance. One unit-level message bluntly saying, are you hearing this? No fat soldiers. This is according to military.com. And you are right, Art of Crash. Absolutely disgusting. If soldiers have political views that are in opposition to the current administration and they don't want to be in the audience, they then they need to speak with the leadership and get swapped out, another note to troops said. Service officials declined to comment when asked about the extent to which troops were screened, whether soldiers displaying partisan cheers on television, a violation of longstanding Pentagon rules, would be disciplined, or if soldiers who objected to participating in the event, citing disagreements with the administration, would be disciplined or admonished in any way. Unbelievable. This has been a bad week for the Army. For anyone who cares about us being a neutral institution, one commander at Fort Bragg told military.com on the condition of anonymity to avoid retaliation. This was shameful. I didn't expect anything to come out of it, but I hope maybe we can learn from it long term. Autocracy, fascism, dictatorship. Outrageous. How do you feel about that, America? How do you feel about that, MAGA? How do you feel about that? There's supposed to be, again, separation of church and state. Let's talk about the separation of a military where people are not supposed to show their political stripes. How do you feel about that, MAGA? Now, maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care that the norms of this country have really been just blown out, gone. Maybe you don't care about those things. It's selfish. It's un-American. It's not patriotic. It's unpatriotic. And don't you care that this president is using men and women in uniform who sacrifice their, in many ways, many times, can sacrifice their lives for us, who put their lives on the line for us. He's using them as props. He uses people as props all the time. Remember, he used when he signed the executive order about trans or whatever, he had the kids, props. When he had his fake State of the Union, pointing out the little boy with a disability, props. He uses people as props for his own political expediency. Selfish, disgusting, un-American. Selfish, disgusting, un-American. And it's a big lead up to the big show that's going to happen on Saturday. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.